Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Crubcast, your weekly dose of controlled chaos, where every single week we find a way to make it worse. My name is Kevin. I'm here with two of my fellow co-crubbers. This week, the two sexiest co-crubbers on the face of the earth. Dancing Man himself, Nicco, doing his Liza P. puppet impression.
I'm not J-Tart9.
And the other Dancing Man, but you can't see it because he's a VTuber, Brody Rocks. Hi, Brody.
My schmingus.
That feels like we can't say that on air. Do we?
That doesn't feel right.
Do we start over? Do we censor that? Do we bleep that? That one feels. Today on the Crubcast, you've probably seen it in the title, in the audio realm or the video realm. We do have audio and video versions of this podcast. You can find each of them in the show notes down below or the description if you want to get the video version or the audio version. Today's topic is based in recent history. There's been a lot of outsourcing from the big studios, the big three, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. And there's been a lot of bad layoffs happening at the same time that have killed entire franchises. So the one side of that is stuff like Hot Shots Golf or Patapon being revived by Namco for the Switch and PlayStation and PC. And the other side of that is Halo being entirely contractors now, more or less. Like no employees at this point, essentially. Like they're kind of there, but are they really? So we decided to look at the positive version of that instead of preying on the people that have been laid off. And we wanted to look at our list of games for each of these companies that we think would be best used as an outsourced project next to a third-party studio, to an indie, or to a brand new studio made by the company for that purpose in some cases. And I think we each have a couple of these. I know, Nicco, yours are actually mostly Sony-focused. Brody and I have a couple for Nintendo and Xbox. And we have some from our Crubscribers. If you join the Discord and you're a Crubscriber supporter, I put something in there where people were able to chime in and give us theirs, which we're going to read on air later as well. Hit the thumbs up, or else I'm going to be very sad. That's all.
Make Die Hardman proud.
I'm going to open with one here that I think will set the tone in a way that doesn't matter. F-Zero should be brought back by Nintendo, outsourced to the team that does Fast RMX / Fast Racing Neo / the new one that just came out that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a common thread of like, hey, give the game the indie spiritual successor was based on to the guys that made the successful successor, right?
There's going to be a good amount of that.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I say this one is not just because of that, because their game's honestly more Wipeout than it is F-Zero in a lot of ways. It is because this studio, I didn't look up their name because I'm stupid. They specifically are like a special effects studio that only works in games with Nintendo essentially once a generation.
Oh.
So they just kind of show up and do an F-Zero game and then leave. So
that's cool.
It's a really cool one. They are perfect for F-Zero if anyone is. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. Easy Nintendo win. Doesn't matter if it sells well or not because it'll sell okay. So that's an easy one to get us off the ground. Nicco, I know you have an easy one, so we'll go ahead and get that one out of the way.
Yeah, we'll knock it out. We'll knock Bloodborne out of the way right now. I think that NeoWiz should take care of Bloodborne.
What did they do?
Lies of P.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's a no-brainer. It's the same exact thing you just said, the same exact scenario, more or less. The indie studio that made the spiritual successor getting to just make the successor. I think that all makes sense to me, and it would just be nice to have, honestly, something in sweet 60 FPS, baby.
Yeah. Bloodborne was going to happen either way. I think we all would have written Bloodborne if Nicco didn't. I'm still confident it will happen at some point. I'm expecting that it will be a Sony internal project that has FromSoft consulting, if anything. I know we've talked on air before that according to like Shuhei Yoshida and other people within Sony, it seems like Sony's just kind of taking the fall for it because they're both busy. And so there's been no way to make it happen. So they would rather be the bad guy sort of and not feel like they're disrespecting Miyazaki by doing it without him. And he doesn't want to do it without them because he can't. And there's just weird stuff going on there that is just kind of everyone being too nice to each other, it sounds like. Which I get. It's a very respectful business culture in Japan. So
yeah, that plus also like you had made a point to me a while ago of just like the logistics of trying to like dig up Bloodborne files from 11 plus years ago, however long it was in development for.
I mean, it wasn't the files themselves that I was concerned about. It was the people. Because a lot of these companies now have really good archiving structures. A lot of them learned over the years to archive their stuff really well. The issue is that essentially everybody at Sony Japan Studios, XDev is what they're called, the group that will help and act as producers to support stuff and give console-specific feedback or insight or help find other studios to be like, hey, how do we fix this problem? And, that sort of thing. Most of those XDev employees don't work there anymore because it has been 10 years. And a lot of them either went to FromSoft or just moved on in the industry, as tends to happen.
Yeah.
So it
makes sense to me.
Just a really crappy timing issue, which a lot of these are going to end up being, at least for my list, for sure. Yeah. Brody, I'm curious because you haven't told us any hint about what yours are going to be besides that Jack and Sly will show up.
Yeah, I have a few here. They get progressively more ridiculous. I think the only one of them really makes actual sense. But I have here Dishonored, which is technically a Microsoft IP at this point.
Oh, right? True. It is.
And and with Arcane, their other studio has died. The studio that still made Dishonored does exist, but they're working presumably on Blade, ? And
hopefully.
They seem to have wanted to do different things since Dishonored, right? Like they did Deathloop. Redfall wasn't them. Redfall was the studio that got shut down, but all under the Arcane banner. And so I would like to see Dishonored come back because I think it's a really great example of that kind of game, right? That immersive sim stealth game, play loud and violent or play, quiet and sneaky. And, I thought about saying, give it to Crystal Dynamics because Deus Ex is really good, but they're basically dead at this point anyway. So I decided I'm going to give it to IOI. I think IOI will do a really good job.
Cool.
And to your point, with IOI being a good fit for that sort of situation, again, a pie in the sky, these aren't going to happen right away. These aren't going to happen at all. But where would they go next? That let's say 10 years from now that this game would come out with IOI's plate of games. It's interesting because Dishonored is like, I've always seen it as a game at scale. Or a game of scale. It's not like a huge open world. It's kind of a contained like city, more or less.
Yeah.
At least as far as I've ever played. I've never gotten very far, admittedly. But it's very like, I don't know the word, but I guess contained is the word I'm going to go with. And it makes it easier to develop this fleshed out experience without having to go too crazy on scale, on scope. It's the Yakuza effect, or Hitman levels being very contained, and they give you a lot of options within.
Yeah, exactly the way, right? It's the opposite of a mile wide and an inch deep, and I think it's fantastic. I love when games take that approach. It's funny, I do have Sly Cooper on here. I have them by a different developer, but I would say a Sly Cooper by Arcane. Sure, I'd do that, or even IOI.
Yeah,
like
IOI would be just
stylistically
janky enough that it'd be an interesting
right,
Sly.
That's a good
That was my
idea.
hesitation. That was my hesitation for picking IOI with Dishonored, just because like I love Hitman. I think they're some of the best games ever made. I also think Dishonored are some of the best games ever made, and I don't entirely know if they mesh well developer style because IOI doesn't have traversal down in the same way, which I think is so crucial to a game like Dishonored or a game like Sly. But I also don't think that it would be too much of a bridge for them to grasp.
They're talented enough at hiring people that I think they could make it work. But it'd be really funny to see a Dishonored where, like in Hitman, you move with like bricks in your pockets. Because that's
right.
That's
you're
what
like
moving
shimmying up the pipe like slow.
Like that's what 47 feels like whenever he moves. It's like a bunch of bricks moving around at once.
It's true.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Brody. Stellar.
I vibe with that.
Strong.
Is Crystal Dynamics? I haven't been following what happened with them after Perfect Dark was canceled. They're not laying people off because of that. They're not a Microsoft studio.
Well, No, well, the thing is Crystal Dynamics has always kind of felt weirdly on the Square Enix chopping block. Right, because like obviously IOI bought themselves out, right?
Well,
they were able
Crystal
to do
Dynamics is Embracer now.
Oh, that's right.
So I mean, they're also I guess on the chopping block by that metric, but Square kept only Gex. That's the only thing they kept out of them and IDOS and whatnot. So.
But yeah, it did seem for a while because obviously they did Mankind Divided and that didn't really do well. And they set it up at the end to sequel bait for like a third, like final one of that trilogy that never ended up getting made because they immediately got put onto Marvel.
Remember that Avengers?
Oh wait,
game?
No, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. It's IDOS Montreal.
Crystal IDOS. Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics did Tomb Raider, but they both kind of. They were almost. I think they were almost like sister studios in a way.
I think of them in the same breath, so I feel you.
Yeah.
And Crystal Dynamics was on Perfect Dark, so they were doing a first-person traversal game currently.
Yeah, because
not anymore.
Yeah. They both got put on Marvel, and then Marvel tanked, and then it's just been kind of like I wouldn't say flop after flop quite exactly, but it hasn't been great for them.
It's been a rough few years for them. Hopefully they haven't laid off. I haven't seen anything about layoffs from them. Hopefully they're doing fine given the cancellation because they only came in the last year or so, I think, on that game. So hopefully not more jobs will end up lost from that.
Would be nice if they were able to do anything at this point. I wouldn't take anything from them.
Yeah.
Like new IP, I don't care.
Speaking of consolidation, I have a couple that I'm going to consolidate really quickly here. I don't know that this has a place in the market, but I think it'd be cool for Sumo to get another crack at Sackboy's games or Little Big Planet. I think that in a post-Astrobot world, there is a market for a Little Big Planet. I don't know that there's a market for a Sackboy game, but Sackboy's game, A Big Adventure, is really, really good.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Sumo Digital is,
And they're around. They're still available. They're owned by Tencent now, but they still do their own thing relatively independently from Tencent's Infinite Money. So it's a team up I could see happening again. I think it'd be cool. I think of any of the family-friendly platformers that Sony has that aren't currently active, that is the one that has the best chance at coming back. Between that and Sly, and I guess Jack is family-friendly. And we'll talk about those when we get to your versions of those. But that was a quick one I wanted to get out of the way because I think that'd be really fun. A more detailed one takes us to the realm of Xbox once again, because this may already be happening. Toys for Bob, if they are not doing Spyro 4, as has been seemingly reliably rumored, and also unreliably rumored. So to be fair, who knows
after cancellations, but
yeah, I mean they're independent, and their project was canceled and was supposedly the Spyro 4 after the Crash 5 and Spyro hybrid game. But then they went independent, and Microsoft went around Activision to contract them, so they're a contractor now. And Microsoft seems fine with contractors because those they can pretend don't count for their Hollywood accounting bottom line.
God.
So if they're not working on Spyro 4, they should hopefully be. And if not that one, I have them listed for the one that everyone else also lists them for generally, Banjo.
Yeah.
And it's just an easy one. They're one of the few studios made up of people that didn't work on any of those games that aren't like an indie studio, like a indie revival type beat, that I think does such a great job at capturing the feel of those original games, that if anybody was going to be able to get close to the game feel of a Banjo-Kazooie nowadays, I think it would be them, because they would get too close to it and it would be like, oh man, this feels so good, but also
be a ukulele situation where it's like, oh, they really made it tooey. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and Banjo 3E would be, in this hypothetical, a Banjo-Kazooie sequel, not a Banjo-Tooie sequel, because we have that. It's ukulele.
I think that there's I think that they could do it for sure. Like it was after Crash 4, right? That's what convinced me of like, oh, they can take these and do them. Because I was skeptical, right? Like I'm not going to go into Reignited, but obviously there are elements there that I'm happy with and unhappy with. But I do think I came out of that going, yeah, I could see them doing a Spyro 4. and being happy with what they do. I just don't know that they have. I haven't seen their ability to do level design, right? Like that just wasn't there yet because of their own.
Yeah.
Yes. And so after they did Crash, I was like, okay, well they could do Crash. Yeah. They got that one down.
For your reference, Nicco, and for anyone who maybe hasn't played Crash 4, Crash 4 is exactly the game that Crash fans were saying they wanted for like 20 years. So much so that all of them got mad at it being so close to what they wanted that it was too mean.
It's so good. I love it. I after the PS5 version came out and they like fixed a lot of the bugs and things like that, I was like, oh, okay. No, yeah, this is a perfect game. Like this is I haven't platinumed it yet, but I will eventually. Because platinuming that game involves basically playing it like insane. 3 to 6 times.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We have to double click on this in the exclusive post show on twitch.tv/Crub_official.
We could do it in the exclusive post show at twitch.tv/Crub_official, which you can also see by being a member on Patreon at patreon.com/Crub or joining in any of the other support funding platforms like Twitch or YouTube that you can join with. I think we can hit on it here, though, very quickly, and then maybe expound on it further in the post show.
Yeah, what
question did you have?
I don't think that saying it was exactly what they wanted and they were mad at it is quite specific enough to
go ahead, Brody.
Satisfactory full thought.
Obviously, Crash games old, Crash games hard, Crash games got compared to Dark Souls for some reason when the remake came out, and that became a huge meme. And in particular, Crash 1 in particular
a writer said Dark Souls comparison.
It was a journalist. No one took it seriously.
Okay, so like an editor. I see.
And so like. Yeah, they're notably hard games, and Crash 4 in specific decided, okay, well, what if we take all of the most frustrating, is probably the most political term I could use for this, the most frustrating elements of Crash, and then we just like dial all of that up to 11. Because like Crash 2, handful of boxes that were kind of hidden off the beaten path in a way where like you had to like if you know that they're there, right? And it's just like maybe 1 or 2 in the entire game that do this, and they're like a fun little secret that you have to find and whatever. Crash 4 puts like 5 of those boxes in every level. Like there's just so many that are like hidden by shadow.
It's the best example. It'd be like you're going downstairs and behind one of the stairs is a box. It's the best example.
The camera view.
Between that and like later gameplay elements and levels just being incredibly mean.
So they like obtusified it.
On top of the levels being like so long that they should be like two or 3 levels each.
They were very much like, we have one crack at this. We're gonna get everything that everyone wants. But in the end result, they made the Crash Bandicoot Kaizo ROM hack that Crash fans like diehards would have loved. As opposed to an organic, here's Crash 3, here's Crash 4. They were so afraid of making it too easy that it became so difficult that it's mean.
I'll say that from the PS5 version specifically, when they did the update, I think the main game became considerably easier. I think the main story path through that game, if you're just playing that on the most updated version of the game, I think that's probably about the level of like a normal Crash game, maybe like a little harder.
Crazy.
When it came out, it was brutal because there was a lot of weird hitbox issues and frame rate issues that like did stop it from being like a perfect experience.
It running at 60 FPS was a huge boon to that game, but in general, like it is just they went so hard at making the game they thought people wanted, and it ended up being so much that even the diehards were like, why is this so mean?
Okay.
But if you look back, a lot of those same people were like, oh, I hope that they don't make Crash 4 too easy. So
yeah, it
was a case of developers getting too good at their own game.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody yesterday who was like, yeah, like I'm kind of a Pokemon truther, and like I think, I'm just kind of tired of the games like being kind of too easy these days. And like I was just like, because I feel like I don't know enough about modern Pokemon, but I feel like unless they made like the EXP share mandatory or something, like you don't have to use it.
They kind of did some of the games. It's tough because Pokemon is also a franchise mainly aimed at children. And so when you grow up, they get easier by default.
First turn-based RPG.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I tried to turn this guy on to the card game then because like that's where the difficulty is, dude. The card game is like that's really what gets the brain going.
Yeah. It's like a
comfort game. Have you played Claire Obscura Expedition 33?
That's a real RPG. It's like Pokemon, but with only up gameplay.
It's like if Lies of P was turn.
Oh, bro.
Pokemon's a weird one because it is. There are points where I think it's considerably easier than it has been in the past.
Sure,
but it's also hard to say for sure because I'm an adult now.
It's true.
Like I don't just use Scratch. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. No, it's fair, and I don't. I mean, I still probably would do the same thing that I did as a kid, which is Google what Pokemon the boss has, and then you can plan accordingly.
Yeah,
but that was before I realized the idea of like creating a team that is like just appropriately leveled
and leveled, rounded. Like there were some fights in Scarlet and Violet that weren't like difficult, but they were like fun because they were unique. You saw them using strategy sometimes that felt pretty good. The problem is that in that game, you're supposed to go to the gyms in a set order, even though it's open world. So the gyms will just be like the 7th gym you might go to is like level 20 Pokemon because you went to the wrong ones first and you went in your own way. Yeah. So it's weird with Pokemon. Right. Speaking of weird, what's your...
If IOI made Pokemon.
Yeah, if IOI made Pokemon, you'd move like rocks, which, to be fair, you already kind of do in Scarlet and Violet. What was your next game, Nicco, that you want to see revived?
So my next one... What did I say here? Yeah, so this is a game from the days... My very brief days as a child playing video games. I don't want to say very brief. Like I did have video games growing up, but I just like wasn't as deep into it. So I played Resistance, Fall of Man. And I thought I got a lot further in that game than I actually did. Like I don't think I ever got past like 2, maybe 3 levels. I didn't realize how much more to that game there actually was. I think I like got jump scared once and then didn't play it for like a couple months. But I digress. I would like to see Resistance Fall of Man.
God damn it.
Taken over by the Splitgate guys.
God damn it.
Like thumbs down on them, right? Like thumbs down on those guys for sure.
In the hats, you can't do that.
You can't.
Actually, the Chimera would be exactly who's wearing the hats.
Well, yeah, I mean, like plot wise, right? They are. It is the Gears of War thing where it was their world first, maybe ?
Oh, maybe not then.
I like the idea of
I don't know the plot.
Revival.
I only played a couple.
It's tough. I like giving it to the arena shooter guys.
Who's a better dev for that?
Like,
I didn't really have like a
Halo.
good dev.
Don't give them Halo or anything. Like
Halo's not dead, unfortunately.
Halo's more dead than Resistance is, and Halo's had games recently.
Well, that's sort of my. Okay.
Like,
aligned.
We don't actually know what 343, now known as Halo Studios, is going to be working on, but morale is apparently really bad there, according to rumors and leaks, and they're not sure if their stuff will be canceled. So
maybe it is more dead than Resistance. That's true.
Resistance is tough. I've always enjoyed the idea of Resistance. I was not around in the heyday of being able to play it online, so I can't play the co-op of 2, which was supposedly really cool. The multiplayer is just gone forever. So it's just 3 cool campaigns, plus the Vita game and the PSP game, which is very cool. The PSP game's cool.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what other studio does like shooters. I haven't been.
It'd be tough maybe nowadays.
Maybe id bringing back.
I don't. Resistance by id would be
Resistance.
insane.
The PlayStation series by the Microsoft studio would go kind of crazy.
It'd go crazy.
I'm going to say really quickly, one of the ones I was going to say as a joke, Bungie and Halo do the opposite. Give a Sony studio that has nothing better to do the Microsoft franchise, just have them kiss, have it go back, we'll fix the universe, it'll all be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know who would be good for Resistance, because I think without Insomniac, you lose a lot of the creative gun designs.
That was even Insomniac. Crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
PS3 game.
Yeah, you can tell their kind of calling card in those games
is the L1 weapon switch.
God, well, the weapon wheel.
Yeah.
And having all of those weird weapons like the auger that can shoot through walls and things like that. To the point where I often say that like 2 is my least favorite, because they did decide to go with the more conventional like thing that every other campaign shooter was doing, where you just have 2 weapons at any given time and like switch between them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no. This is Insomniac. Give me the fucking weapon wheel. Like, just it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
no, that's fair, dude. That's so fair. The wheel is kind of goated until they start being like, this gun only works on this enemy, or like this enemy only accepts this gun. Like those are the ones where I'm like, bro, seriously, just let me play your game. Just make your game playable. Like, just let me play.
Like I
just back off.
There is an element to a lot of shooter games where once you get past once you start moving too far past the I just want to shoot things into it's a puzzle game where you have to shoot certain things in certain combos, I do feel myself tune out a little, because I'd rather that be an organic thing that I dominant strategy discover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I dislike a lot of the ideas that like Doom does do with that sort of stuff. It's just
what I'm talking about.
Not exactly my cup of tea compared to like a Bulletstorm where you go nuts with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've liked the Gearbox approach of we have like a few different elemental types of damage in the game, and enemies will have different colored health bars, and you can go nuts with any weapon, but like different elements will work different on different kinds of health bars. Like corrosive is better on armor, fire is better on health, electric's better on shield. Like just that kind of
Liza
basic
P.
Pokemon rock paper scissors.
Liza P. Yeah.
Brody, do you have any idea of who could handle Resistance? Because my thing is like, I would love to see it come back. There is zero chance that thing sells. There's
no 1,000%.
No chance.
Yeah, no, not
Actually,
even a little bit.
It'd probably get a TV show before it got a game release.
Was there a movie that they were? Hold on, I have to look that up.
I don't know. Yeah, I would give it. I mean, I feel like my ridiculous answer is like a Bill Lawrence like Scrubs MASH type scenario, but it's Bill Lawrence in the Resistance universe. And my real answer would probably just be the guys who make The Boys writing it.
There is no movie or show. I am incorrect in thinking that there was something maybe announced. It would do well in that kind of vein, like a Man in the High Castle sort of deal. With
like an over dramatized TV show type deal.
Like, I don't know that it'd be like super unique, because a lot of Resistance, the only thing unique about it is like the twists, and you can't really do the twist of main character gets infected.
True.
In a way that's
player is new guy.
Yeah, like player. You can't do player agency. Well, to be fair, that's what The Last of Us did.
Guillermo del Toro would handle this property with care. He'd make it unique.
Guillermo del Toro Resistance.
I can't think of that man without thinking of Dead Man in the Shower.
It's true.
It's true. His whole life's work is going to boil down to that for me, and it's just that's it.
I think it's going to boil down to that for quite a lot of people, to be honest with you. Unfortunately.
Pan's Labyrinth? Never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of like this guy.
Well, that guy's the Odra deck from Death Stranding 2. He just does the boop, 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 boop.
Oh,
the
yeah,
blinking.
true. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
Resistance is tough because I don't know how it would perform. It wouldn't perform well because it's hard to do a traditional selling single player / multiplayer shooter. Like Doom gets away with it, but Doom has the benefit of being Doom.
Right.
So,
like I think of developers that I would give it to, and like id probably wouldn't be bad, right? Like they're known for kind of weird weapons too, so like that would probably actually work. Gearbox, maybe, but it's a different kind of game. And beyond that, I just think of Respawn, and I think of
if you have Respawn make Resistance 4 instead of Titanfall 3, I think you'd make people storm the EA offices.
But it'd be good though.
It'd be pretty good. It'd be pretty
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I want Epic Games to make the Resistance remake.
But like after that, it's the guys who made. I had it in my head, and now I've completely blanked on it.
I'm sorry, Brody. I dealt psychic damage.
Like People Can Fly would be good. Like Bulletstorm Team.
Oh, true. Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those games both have been dead for like 10 years, so it'd be kind of about the same. Yeah.
What if we give it to the Sonic 06 team?
Sonic Team making Resistance 4 would go kind of hard. You just have butt rock playing, like...
You know what? Yeah.
Nathan Hale goes super.
He does at the end of 2.
He does kind of go.
Super.
Well,
Nathan
no, he goes
Hale.
Maria at the end of 2, Brody.
Oh, yeah. He becomes human.
He
turns into a human man.
Brody, what's the next one up on your list? Are we getting into Sly or Jack?
Well, I mean, we can. Yeah, I just have them here. So I have Sly Cooper is here. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would love to just see a new Sly either by Sucker Punch or by Sanzaru, but Sanzaru's deader than Sumo at this point.
Yeah.
Like, in the way that they're not dead, but they are dead.
They're doing Facebook VR stuff, Nicco, for reference. So they're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a fate worse than death, isn't it?
I think Sanzaru could have handled it. I like Sly 4. Obviously, there's things to be said about the writing, but whatever. I think it's gameplay wise, it's the best one since it goes 2-4-3-1 for me, basically, or maybe 2-4-1-3.
I'm 2-4-1-3 usually.
Yeah, but I have here Sly Cooper by Team Reptile, who is the guys that did Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Crazy.
You know. That kind of goes hard.
Yeah,
right?
you're kind of like, not that I'm a fan or have like really played either of these games, but I do like the music in Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Like that would that would be a really interesting combo. They have the movement fluidity down. I was curious where you were going to go, and honestly, I could see that. I could see,
right. Like, with the art style and everything too. Like, obviously, it wouldn't be the same like Jet Set inspired exactly. But they have that. Like they've also done that other fighting game that has the cell shaded style and things like that. But yeah, exactly. Like I think they could get it in terms of vibe and gameplay. I think they could get all of that. They might want to bring in a writer. But
bring in a writer.
It's
okay,
I think
dude. They'll use AI. It's okay.
God. I think that they could do a really good job with it. I would be interested to see what this kind of like, because I've always thought that extreme sports games like a Tony Hawk and things like that, they are just platformers at the end of the day. And they use a lot of mechanics in the way that Sly does of like, well, here's an auto lock onto a grind rail and different things like that. I could see
Brody,
them doing
do you know what I'm gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
Is Sly Cooper an expressive platformer?
No, not really, but it's funny you say that because I did originally have Team Reptile as my pick for Jack and Daxter because I thought that was really funny. But then when I realized they would be a genuinely good fit for Sly, I decided to switch it. So for Jack and Daxter, I have that being done by Fabraz.
Bennett Foddy, of course. Yeah.
No, Fabraz, the guy who made Demon Turf. Because I really like Demon Turf.
I don't know how that would begin to work.
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know. I don't think that's possible. Like, are you rebooting Jack 1 and putting it in an empty ass open world, or are you like what do we? Oh, you had me in the first one, and then you went and ruined it. I'm gonna go.
I don't know what Demon Turf is.
Demon Turf is the developer of Demon Turf is the one who coined the expressive platformer genre as marketing for his game.
They're the one that made that up.
I'm going to go on my soapbox here.
I just feel bad for you now.
You've given me an opportunity to go on my brief soapbox because one of the options I said at the start of the video that people could suggest in the comments or in the replies on the Spotify or Apple feeds, those do help the show as well, similar to reviews. The soapbox that I went on, and the based on the thing I was saying at the start, was that you could also make studios from scratch for the purposes of some of these games. Because, for example, several PlayStation IP did that in the PS3 era. PlayStation All-Stars was founded as a studio by one of the former Santa Monica founders / studio heads with the intent of being the PlayStation All-Stars studio. They went and founded a different studio so that if things went wrong, it's not in Sony's name, essentially. They're just kind of doing creative accounting. I think that you're onto something with Sly, but I think for both of those series, and for a lot of PS2, GameCube, Xbox original era platformers in general, I think that there is too much going on stylistically with a lot of them because of the era of change that those games were in, that I don't think many currently extant studios could do that sort of project without staffing up with a bunch of people anyway. There are no indie Sly Cooper projects. There are no indie Jack and Daxter projects that aren't just mods for Jack and Daxter.
It's what the closest we've got is a Kimbot for Ratchet,
and a Kimbot's Ratchet, and that's just kind of a shooter more than a platformer.
Kimbot.
It'd be really tough, and I think it's an interesting thing because part of what makes those games so unique in that era was that as the genre evolved, you did see them packing in more subgenres because platformer or character action became the subgenre rather than the prime genre of a lot of those games. And that's so hard for indie studios to do that there is no Sonic Mania team that can make that. There is no Penny's Big Breakaway team that can make that sort of what if Sonic early era was 3D vibe. And so I don't think that there are many studios that aren't like, oh, what if Insomniac did Jack or Sly? Because they're not gonna. I think that those cases are the ones that I would say, if you're gonna revive one, it's Sly, it's not Jack. And if you're gonna do it, you make a new studio explicitly for that purpose, because you don't see any studios that have the sauce in terms of employee specialization to make that kind of game. That's kind of the vibe that I currently have with it. I think Jack especially, I don't know what you do with Jack, because do you make it just a regular platformer scrimblow? Do you make it a Jack 2 or 3 game where it also has guns, but they don't let you aim on purpose as part of the design mechanic because it's an expressive shooting system?
See, exactly. It's a perfect fit. I'm telling you, we get Fabraz in there. He'll take one look at it, go, I got it, see it in my mind's eye, and he'll just make the whole thing. Jack and Daxter's coming back, baby. We got this. They'll all be 2D sprites on a 3D plane. Let's go.
I think
Brody.
The only thing that would hurt me more than that is the writing. If they didn't have a writer for that game. Because Demon Turf writing I like Demon Turf. I like the Demon Tides demo. They're fine. Nothing against that guy. But that writing in a Jack and Daxter game, it'd be good for Daxter and nobody else.
You know, I mean, at the very least, they do have a Bentley. They did just genuinely rip off Bentley and put him in that video game.
That is true. They did do that.
No, I love Demon Turf. I think it's the best example of that indie thing of it's not just a spiritual successor to another game like Ukulele was trying to be, or to an era like Hat in Time was trying to be with GameCube and whatever. Demon Turf does try to take a lot of those ideas and go, okay, but let's modernize it. Let's put in a lot of where have we come in games since then? We're going to put in, just little things, speedrun timer and all these different things, but it adds elements.
Jack Fabraz revival would work for only one reason. If it worked, you can set your own checkpoints. Instead of having none, you can set them.
Perfect. No, wrap it up. Perfect. Got it in one. Let's move on. You did it.
And I do agree with you. As the issues I have with that game tend to be related to maybe feature creep and scope, but I really do at least appreciate that it's one of the few of those sorts of indie platformer character action games that does try to evolve the genre and do something new. Because a lot of the time you end up with it's the Crash 4 problem, where you have a lot of indie developers that are so in the sauce of the game they're making or the genre they're working on, that between that and maybe a general lack of in-industry experience as a pseudo-amateur developer going professional, you end up with games that are too up their own mechanical butthole.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, Demon Turf is very much a veteran's 3D platformer. Like, I wouldn't recommend it to someone who's never played a 3D platformer before.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult for them to get into, because it does demand, not that it demands a lot, it does have that, like, Nintendo critical path is not nearly as hard as when you're trying to be fancy with it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the moment you start going fancy with it and start looking for those shortcuts through the levels and stuff, like the stuff that you would do on like the Mario Odyssey Koopa races, but that you can do on every single level in Demon Turf.
Yeah.
Once you get into that, it's like, it's really fun to execute, but man, yeah, it is a lot. Like,
it works well. It works well for Turf, not as much for the Tides demo that I played. I think with Tides, there not being a critical path in a lot of ways makes it very directionless and not in the satisfying Mario Odyssey way, because of how big the map is compared to how little there is in it. But the example I was going to make to follow that up was, as far as games that don't have a studio that exists that could do that game in a proper way, indie or otherwise, obviously we have to mention Ape Escape. Ape Escape is a perfect example of that, because there's only one game I can think of that has ever tried to do the Ape Escape capture mechanic, and it is The Big Catch, another big-ass open-world indie expressive platformer. And there's a demo for it that's like 12 hours long, a super long demo that is way bigger than it needs to be. And one of the mechanics is that you catch fish that you get them out of water. You can only catch them when they're not in water. But to catch the fish, they run away, kind of like Ape Escape monkeys, except they don't have creative things besides running away from you. They don't fight back. There aren't different types of fish that do different things other than maybe run faster. And it doesn't really feel super good, which as the main form of collecting things, as your power stars, is not great. That's the only one that exists. And so
I think you're forgetting chasing down dragonflies with your bubble breath in Year of the Dragon.
What if we get
I
the
have
people
not played
who
that
made
game, and I every time you mention it, I will play it less. I don't like Sergeant Bird's vibe.
He's not in that game.
I don't care.
He's in the 5. He's in 3 and 5. He's not in 4.
You said Year of the Dragon.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No, Enter the Dragonfly.
You did say Year of the Dragon.
That one.
Enter the.
I have a reason not to play that one. That's different. Yeah. What were you saying, Nicco?
What if we got the people who made Catch a Diablos to do it?
The one person playdate developer that just give him
single person playdate developer.
Okay, I thought I was mishearing you say like Samba de Amigo, and I was like, no, hold on.
No. There's I'm kidding. If you want to know more about Catch a Diablos, check out mine and Kevin's series Cranking Our Hogs for free on the Crub Patreon.
We crank our hogs on the Patreon. It is free, so if you join the free tier of Patreon, we have multiple videos where we went over every Playdate. This was an organic plug. Every Playdate Season 2 game. They released a second season of the Playdate system. And I wanted to talk about it, and no one else has one, so I lived vicariously through showing Nicco gameplay. So it's a little Let's Play review situation that we did. It is free on the Patreon. You don't even need to be a paid member. A lot of fun.
It's a cool little guy.
We got to do episode 5, the final episode, soon. But yeah, the point that I was making was that a lot of these studios just don't exist. A lot of these concepts just don't exist in a way that... I guess it sort of goes back to the thing where we tend to think of studios as always being the thing that they once were, when in reality, most of the people at these game studios are younger than the games that you love. Yeah. Like most of the Ratchet and Clank developers nowadays are like younger than Ratchet and Clank.
Right, and I was just gonna say, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because there is a lot of cases of it's a lot of devs that grew up playing these games, loving these games, wanting to make more. There is a level of, like, yeah, there's an inexperience here. They're going to have to get there, but these are the people with the passion to make these games. Like, it's no coincidence, I think, that Ratchet and Clank, at this point, their dev staff is probably, like, at least 50% furries, right? Because they grow up, they play those games, they want to do that, and then they have the skill set to go do it, so then they do. Like,
where are you going with this?
No, he's right.
He's probably right. I'm right. I'm 100%. Like, yeah. Not to talk about my job. I don't really talk about it, but I was working on a particular IP, a show, and I would often sometimes walk into the break room, and on the whiteboard, I would see characters from the show drawn like buff and as if like you would expect a furry to draw art of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that is who would staff on this show. That makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there is that element of, like, that's also a lot of the stuff that you see a lot of people, like, lose they grow out of series as fans because the people that make them grow up. Like, Ratchet has always been internally seen as like a James Bond, where each generation is a new James Bond. And eventually you have James Bond fans writing the movies.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's what Ratchet has always been. So that's a good example. The other example, again, to go back to Ape Escape, is you have everyone at, I said this before on one of the podcasts, so forgive me for repeating myself. With Astrobot, you have Team Asobi make this game that immediately does better than every Ape Escape game combined. And the first thing people say is, oh man, it'd be really cool if they made Ape Escape. There are 2 people that worked on Astrobot that worked on Ape Escape. There are more people that worked on Tears of the Kingdom and Astrobot than Ape Escape and Astrobot. Or maybe it was as many. I always forget now. I think it's 2 and 2 or 3 for Tears of the Kingdom and 2 for Ape Escape. Ape Escape is older than most Astrobot players and a good chunk of Astrobot developers. And that's not like trying to make you feel your back ache. It's just you don't want people to be tied to an IP they have no attachment to. Even if it's someone who does things with such reverence that you saw with Asobi's work, honoring each of the PlayStation IP in cameos or in the Ape Escape level. Like, those things are made with love, but that doesn't necessarily translate to a game that they could or should make.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why we see a lot of these examples being that exact thing of, oh, get the indie studio that did the spiritual successor to do it. Because, like, or even in the case of Sly, right, I would be happy to see Senzaru come back and do that, because I know that is a team that wanted to do that, right? They set out to convince Sony
make that game.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wasn't, Sony hired them to do it. It literally, like, they scratched and clawed their way to making that game. And I think that's awesome. And that's exactly why they deserved to do it. And I think why they deserve to do a sequel. Not that it'll ever happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. And so that's an important thing to remember, is that when we go with this pie in the sky stuff of these games, is that some of them, the example I'll make next, which is my last one, is sort of in that vein, because I mentioned PlayStation All-Stars was made by a studio that was founded to make PlayStation All-Stars from people that worked at Sony or Santa Monica Studio that then hired people they had worked with elsewhere to come in and build this team to make a Smash Bros. Game. The game that I was going to suggest was PlayStation All-Stars 2, made by ArcSys. But ArcSys ArcSys made the better choice, and Sony made the objectively better choice by going with the Marvel game.
Who's ArcSys?
I mean, yeah, they did Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Guilty Gear.
And game I know.
They're Dragon Ball Fighters.
No, game I know.
The Dragon Ball Fighters.
That would be the best example of a game. That would be the closest that you would get. But the Marvel Token game that Justin's excited for, Nicco.
The 4v4 Marvel versus Capcom game that's just Marvel versus Marvel that Sony announced.
They make fighting games. Okay, yes. I see. That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
A 3v3 team battle PlayStation All-Stars, I think, was the way to go with that, because Sony owns Evo now. You knew they were going to have some sort of fighting game of their own the moment they got involved with Evo properly. And we knew that there was the rumor years ago of them working with ArcSys on something exclusive. So my hope was like, oh, that would be really cool for a PlayStation All-Stars, because that's the way you do it, and that's the team to do it. They are so good at what they do in making visually wonderfully stylistic, honoring each franchise sorts of character designs and attacks and combos, and they know what they're doing. They're so good at what they do.
No, it's a good one.
Marvel.
Yeah, no, that's a really good pick. It is very pie in the sky, because the idea that a PlayStation All-Stars, as much as I love it, would get ArcSys on it is wow. Like, I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
It would outsell Guilty Gear, at least.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because they didn't get Fighters renewed for whatever reason, so the whole thing was that if they're working on a contract for Sony, it's probably going to do better than Guilty Gear does, as well as Guilty Gear does tend to do. Like Fighters, for reference, Nicco, is like one of the best-selling fighting games ever. It has outsold, I think, every Street Fighter individually. It is like, I think, number 3 or 4 behind Marvel vs. Capcom, one of them, and Smash Bros. I think
it would be interesting
there.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see specifically, because obviously they do fighting games, not specifically platform fighters. Would you be expecting this to still be a platform fighter, or do you think they would make it a full fighting game?
I think it'd be a 3v3 fighting game. I think it'd be their style of game, which is exactly what would fit for an Evo audience that Sony would be potentially trying to court at that point. Again, I think that everyone involved made the right decision. Making a Marvel game is 100% the better choice if you have the choice to do it. And I'm not upset about that. But that was a thought that I've had for a while, and it's funny to mention it now because they are the right studio for that game, but that will not happen now.
But you know what we could, what's Ludosity been doing? They've been up to anything?
Did they finish the DLC for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 3?
I think that 3? I thought that game is done. I thought All-Star Brawl is just done.
I thought they just pulled it.
Or maybe that was Multiverses. I get them confused. But Ludosity, I would love to just see a platform fighter that I gave a shit about being done by Ludosity, because like I enjoyed Slap City quite a bit. I don't have any interest in playing the Nickelodeon one, so I would like to see them, if they could do a PlayStation All-Stars, that'd be cool.
I see.
I guess the DLC stopped coming out in 2023 in November, so over a year ago.
Eljamin Frank.
So it's hard to... I get them mixed up with the kart game, because the kart games keep coming out, and so there's always some Nickelodeon crossover shovelware that's like inspired shovelware that's coming out at some point. But
I have one more.
Yes, mine are done now, so I'm off my
I have a couple, but you go, Nicco.
Which is that I think that like PaRappa the Rapper, I think Harmonix could make a good PaRappa game. I think that'd be
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. They could do it. Which is hilarious, because I was going to joke earlier. I'm like, can we get Samba de Amigo done by either Harmonix or the guys that did Taiko no Tatsujin?
So I have one that I didn't put down because I knew it was not feasible whatsoever. Because they don't do PaRappa in part for the same thing that we were saying with Bloodborne, where that was never a Sony. It's a Sony IP. It was never Sony developed. So the team that made that game, when they left, no one at Sony knows how to make those games. So they kept contracting them to do the remasters or the PSP port and what have you.
Makes sense.
I was going to have a joking option for PaRappa, which was the Friday Night Funkin' developer doing PaRappa.
Yeah.
Because that is a perfect fit.
Yeah,
that is
good.
100%.
That's real good. That's real good.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yep. We didn't hit on a lot of Nintendo. I want to say quickly, I think you might have one Nintendo, Brody.
I have a few. I have three Nintendo here. I mean, the first one is just easy. I have Mario Golf by Clap Hands, because every golf game is made better by being done by Clap Hands.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But that's I threw that one in at the end. The two that I have that I actually were like kind of cracked me up. I have Endless Ocean by Unknown Worlds Entertainment, who are the guys that did Subnautica.
So Brody, I have bad news for you. There's an Endless Ocean game that came out last year.
Wait, really?
By the same team that made the original. That series is alive. That series exists.
I had no idea.
It's Arika. Arika is the studio. I was looking up options for this for Nintendo, because the only ones that come to mind are, F-Zero, Star Fox, I guess Chibi Robo. Mother's never
Mario
coming back.
RPG.
Pilot Wings.
I guess Pilot Wings. There are a few, but like the best example of what they do with that is like a Metroid Dread or Samus Returns, where they had Mercury Steam make it because they made a cool Metroidvania game before, and so then Nintendo was like, "Hey, you wanna
get the call up."
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
But yeah, I think it's Arika that made or I don't know how it's pronounced, but they have made every one, and that's I think all they make. I'm gonna look that up while you read the next one.
Yeah, and so my next one I have here is Big Brain Academy by Dogubomb, or Dojubomb, however you spell it, which is the developer of Blueprints.
That's crazy, Brody. That's crazy. You wouldn't be able to solve any of the Sudoku puzzles. You'd have to like take the cartridge out, flip it around, and like put it in the other way.
Which is exactly the kind of stuff I eat up. Let's go.
And you'd discover that after 10 hours of gameplay where you had to put like all of the like puzzle pieces in the right spot.
there was a legitimate part of Blueprints where I was studying for a fake in-world exam, and I studied like 8 grades worth of like syllabus, and then did a real-time half-hour exam, and I had to do it twice because I got really close the first time, and then I was like 1 point off, so I had to do it again. But I spent hours studying and writing in my notebooks, and then took the exam, and it was exhilarating. And if I can get that kind of feeling out of Big Brain Academy, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Brain Age. I'm thinking
same thing, more or less.
Update on Arika. They actually work with Nintendo frequently. They worked on Dr. Luigi. They worked on Pac-Man 99, Super Mario 35, Endless Ocean Luminous, which came out last year for Switch.
They got 35 Super Marios?
It was the 35th anniversary game, but they do, technically.
Oh.
They work on a bunch of stuff with them, essentially. They still exist.
I just like Pac-Man 99 and Super Mario 35.
So there was Tetris 99, and then they made Pac-Man 99 for Pac-Man's anniversary, and then
F-Zero 99.
F-Zero 99 exists.
Wait,
then
so did they...
Mario 35, because they also made Tetris 99.
Are these from... I'm sorry. Are these from 19?
These
99?
are Battle Royale, Tetris, and Pac-Man and Mario.
99 player.
I see.
It is regular Tetris, but in a Battle Royale 100 versus 1 format.
Mario's didn't happen to be for the 35th anniversary, did it?
It did. That's why it's called 35.
Oh, okay. Because I knew it was 35 players.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore, so that's gone. They delisted that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was your last one?
I only have I have 2 more. So I have an Xbox IP being done by a Sony studio here. So it's Sunset Overdrive done by Insomniac.
That's no longer a Microsoft IP though. That's a Sony IP.
No, that's true. They did get the rights to the original game, but I just had to.
I like that.
Not
Insomniac Nicco made Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah,
I see.
And my last one here I have is Scalebound by I'm gonna butcher this here. Étranger les Boules, which I believe translates to Strange Dragonflies. They were the developer of specifically the 3rd game in the Legend of Spyro series, Dawn of the Dragon, which had free flight. I did not play it, but everyone talks about the free flight, so I think they could do Scalebound.
What game again, Brody? I'm sorry.
Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon, the third in the trilogy.
Would make Scalebound.
To make Scalebound, the canceled Platinum Games Xbox game where you ride a dragon.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah,
you wouldn't because they got canceled.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Those are awful ones.
Yeah, those are real bad, man. You came out the gate hot.
You ended on a low
New
here.
Vegas, yeah. New Vegas 2 by Obsidian.
And that one's gonna happen at this point.
Yeah,
either that's gonna happen or they're gonna shut Obsidian down for no reason. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
I think the moral of the story here is that as much as people like to do this pie in the sky. Oh, it'd be really cool if BioWare took over Sly Cooper. You know, a lot more needs to be done for those things to be feasible. And it's been really cool in the last few years, especially seeing each of these big three companies start to outsource some of those projects to other teams. Even with Microsoft starting to allow their classics onto the Nintendo shops was pretty cool by way of the online service. Getting Banjo-Kazooie and I think GoldenEye's there now. Getting those sorts of games onto the N64 online is a really cool bit of cross compatibility, and it's a cool way to honor the legacy of a lot of these games that in a lot of cases aren't feasible to currently bring back. And I think with how dour a lot of the industry news has been lately, with layoffs and live service things being canceled and live service things existing at all, I think it was a cool idea that we had to talk about the positive angle of these companies as late stage capitalism as each of them, all three, are becoming in a lot of ways. The benefit is that we're seeing them become looser and looser with their intellectual property, which means there are more opportunities for some crazy shit like this. There are opportunities for, some of Sony's indie partners that they would work with, like, helping fund Kenna Bridge of Spirits. There are opportunities for them to just throw their franchises at these studios. There's the rumored God of War 2D game that might be made by Mega Cat Studios, an indie studio that is one of the first studios that actually reached out to me, which is kind of a weird thing to see them on God of War. But they've worked on a bunch of old Genesis games. They made their own Windjammers type game years ago, right before Windjammers was then brought back.
And we're seeing it with like Ubisoft has the Dead Cell guys making the new Prince of Persia.
Yeah, a lot of
not the new good Prince of Persia, but the other new Prince of Persia.
The rogue Prince of Persia is what it's called. Yeah. It's an interesting thing because we're seeing, just like the industry itself, a lot of the single A production being shifted to the indie space. But we're seeing it finally being done with these beloved properties in some way, where you are not seeing huge restrictions on the games. I mean, we had Cadence of Hyrule come out.
I was going to mention that. Cadence of Hyrule was insane. The fact that they gave Zelda to an indie dev to do it. And not to mention, it's probably one of the better top-down Zeldas, period.
It's such a fun game, and it's so well optimized for no matter what the playstyle. That's the rhythm one, Nicco. Where it's a top-down Zelda.
You don't have to play it with rhythm. Like, you can take the rhythm part off. I didn't play Necrodancer. I played Necrodancer with the rhythm off just because I couldn't get it.
Enter the Gungeon type beat.
If you move on your tiles on the beats, or you swing your sword on the beats of the song, you'll do more damage.
Enemies also move to the beat in their own way, so you have to figure out on the beat, what are they going to do, and so you can expect I have a weapon that does 3 blocks of damage, so I can hit the enemy before they hit me, kind of thing. It's really good. It's really, really well made.
But yeah, so anyway, moral of the story is there are so many of these happening that I think it's a cool experiment to look towards the hopeful side of things, while also being somewhat stupid but somewhat realistic with the studios that could feasibly take on the burden of expectations with these franchises. Because I don't want anybody to deal with the burden of making a new Sly Cooper, because it's going to be so difficult. It's going to be so hard because of how firmly we hold on to the neck of that series with love. That, it's a cool experiment in being kind to other developers, to people, to understanding, to having empathy. And I think we need more of that right now in the gaming world. So this was
a Zelda made by Mobius Digital, the guys who made Outer Wilds, but they just
Morbius Digital.
Morbius Digital.
This was a lot of fun. We did go over the time I think we expected for our discussion. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say on air, do some admin. We're going to react to our chat live on Twitch, as well as our Crub subscriber rooms versions of these in the post show, which may or may not get uploaded as its own dedicated video down the road for you. So if you want to see it in the post VOD as it's uploaded or as a separate upload or however we decide to upload it, join the Patreon. It is as little as $5 a month. You get hundreds of hours of content, such as stuff like that we do in the post show, as well as so many other series as I burp into my microphone. We also burp into the microphone a lot. There's a 7-minute video of Justin eating food.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll hit on those in another video. For now, we're going to let you know that next week it will continue to get worse, as it always does here on the Crubcast. Hopefully you have hit the like button and subscribed and recommended it to every person that you dislike.
Final thought?
That's a good point.
Final thought? Anybody?
Project Spark made by Media Molecule. Thank you.
I don't know what that is.
Every game that was mentioned today made by FromSoft.
FromSoft Resistance would go kind of hard.